Welcome, everybody, to Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I am the NFL genius, Gene Walzak, and in the upper left corner, we got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Contro.
Gentlemen, how are we feeling today? We got a lighter sports week, but I feel like this show is about to be a little off the rails at certain points. Like I'm curious to see what the show is going to look like, 2 hours from now.
I can promise we're going off the rails tonight. I'll promise that. It's a full promise. From me to you. In the upper right corner, Scholastic Shally, Uncle Shally, Mr. William Shawcross.
Off the rails. That sounds exciting. I'll sign up for that. So I'm in for that.
Why not? Why would we not sign up for it? We got a lot to get into. Ton to get into. We're gonna rock out. We're gonna get into some hot wire to start. College basketball breakdown. Cottrell's favorite loser from Kansas who doesn't like to play basketball. I'm kidding. We'll get into that. We got a little. Hopefully, we have trivia. I don't know if we have trivia. Shally, did you get your golf NASCAR trivia ready?
Better question is: are you guys ready for trivia? Did you guys study up on the history of NASCAR like I told you to?
And then we got some MLB. We're going to do our all MLB Central team. Next week, we'll do our all NL Central team, and then they're going to compete. And who's going to win? We'll debate on that, and we'll see who moves on. That'll be a fun conversation. But we got to start with Hot Wire. And Hot Wire starts with Cottrell.
Absolutely. So a little bit of a lighter news week here, more recap, kind of preview, I guess, and, a couple things here. But first things first here, I felt like it's only fitting, now that the Winter Olympics has officially come to an end, that we touch on that a little bit. And, I thought it was an entertaining Winter Olympics, and especially we got to see it capped off with the United States men's team earning gold. Jack Hughes ultimately getting the golden goal in overtime there, beating Canada. And, it was just such a great game to watch there. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, on the game in general there. And then if you had any just closing thoughts about the Winter Olympics in general, kind of throwing those in here as well.
I mean, I want to ask the listeners. I do. I want to ask the listeners. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. By the way, that game almost got me back into hockey. It's been years since I've watched good hockey. And that was good hockey. It was very enjoyable. But I want to ask the question, and I'm asking for a friend. Nobody on this show did this. I'm going to relate it to football. If the United States Olympic football team, Cottrell, I'm going to ask you, Cottrell, who's the most hated team in the NFL for you?
The Steelers.
Okay. So if the United States football team was in the flag football Olympics and DK Metcalf caught the game-winning touchdown pass, would you be like, yes, USA, or would you say, DK? I just want to know. Was it a violation? I just want to know. Nobody did that, right?
I would go USA personally, I'm not really a supporter of any Steelers there. I don't even draft them in fantasy football. So I would go Team USA. I'd be happy that it happened, but I'd be rooting for Team USA as a collective there.
Collective, right? I get that. Shally, what are your thoughts on that? Would you Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb catches the game winner. Michael Irvin back in the 90s.
In that situation, it would be USA.
I'm just checking. Because I think a New Jersey Devil scored the game-winning goal for USA. And Cottrell types in USA, and I'm typing in let's go. And all I see is the guy's name from a Flyers fan. Shally, defend your stance.
Well, per the norm for Gene, we're gonna do apples to oranges here. Now, Cottrell, if the guy that caught the game-winning touchdown was an Ohio State alumni, if it was a Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, would it possibly change a little bit?
Yeah, that would definitely change some things.
I'll rest my case there. Thank you, Your Honor.
But all right, so if Olave is a Steeler, like signs with the Steelers, does that change your thoughts on Olave?
As a Steeler, no, it wouldn't change my thoughts. But if he's playing for Team USA, he's gonna get some love from me for sure.
God damn it! I hate losing the I'm just kidding with you, Shal. I'm just kidding with you. Jack is the man. I live and die by the Flyers. I know, Chris. I'm just busting Shally's balls. Let me do me. It's my cousin, by the way. I love that guy. No, but all seriousness, that was a great hockey game. I'll be the first to tell you, it is my fourth favorite of the four major sports. It's a step above grass ping pong. I mean, I think golf has surpassed hockey for me over the last 10 years.
That's because you golf now.
That's fair. Listen, it's all subjective here, all right? What were your thoughts on the game, Shal?
That was a great game. I think U.S. started the game really well, and then, I mean, Canada really dominated from pretty much second half of the second period all through the third. Couldn't score. They got the game-tying goal, and after that, Connor Hellebuck just pretty much told everybody in Canada to get fucked. They weren't scoring anymore, not on his watch. And just listen. That's what you want from the Olympics. I think the only thing that kind of sucked is you're missing the Russian team, because the Russian team would have been loaded just like those two teams. To not have them there sucks, but that's a whole different.
Why weren't they there, Bill?
Because they're still out there killing people. I don't know. Listen, I'm not getting into politics, but
we talked about the shows going off the rails. It went off quick.
In war, you kill people. That's what you do. But not to get off on that tangent, but it's nobody from Russia is allowed to participate in the Olympic Games because of the situation with Ukraine. So that sucks, because obviously there is a who's who of Russian NHL players, not to mention all the guys that play in the KHL that are very good as well. So not having them there sucked. But I mean, as far as moments go, I mean, it's right up there, man. I mean, it's if you're a USA fan, it's as good as it gets. That Canada team was absolutely loaded, and they just got beat. Simple as that. I would tell all the Canadian fans that are still whining about the overtime format to just fucking cry harder. I don't know what to tell you. You had literally, debatably, the three best hockey players on the planet on the ice for you when you gave up the game-winning goal. I don't want to hear your bitching. I don't. Connor McDavid's best player on the planet.
Didn't they win 2 games in overtime to get there?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be real honest, and Canadian fans don't want to do that right now because like I said, they're still biting their pillows. They were fortunate to be there, really were. Quarterfinal and semifinal game, they were both losing deep into the third period, tied up, won in overtime. I would quite honestly tell you that team kind of underachieved. But again, that's don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. So
I think the other part of that too is that during that game, like if you feel like you hate the overtime format or whatever the case may be, they had plenty of opportunities to score before overtime. Like they should be looking at themselves in the mirror as to why that game even went to overtime, because they had plenty of shots on goal. They had the one, I forgot who it was. There was it almost felt like an open net. It got over to the back side.
Again, it's Nathan McKinnon. So again, if you take Connor McDavid out of the conversation, he's in a very small group of people that is the next best hockey player in the league. And then it's just there's bitch and a bitch. They just don't like losing because they're not used to it. Oh well.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think they've lost. Now, look, we got to exclude the last 2 Olympics because the NHL players couldn't go. But I think since the NHL players can go, I think they lost 4 times since 1980 total. And United States won in 92, but forgive me if I don't remember, but is 1992 a non-NHL year? The U.S. won in 80 and 92.
It couldn't. Yeah, I don't think it was an NHL year. Either that, or there was probably something weird about that year because it's never counted towards. Like it never comes up. It's never counted towards like a meaningful gold medal for the U.S.
I really believe Eric Rosenberg knows that answer. I feel like he'll tell us in the chat.
Not to mention, they absolutely pissed down their leg with the 5-on-3 situation that happened, which I'm not even a hockey guy, but just seeing it happen, like the 5-on-3, I was like, oh, this is where the game turns. Like I was like, this is where we're gonna go down one, and they're just gonna have all the momentum, and it's just not gonna turn back. But as soon as that didn't happen, again, me as the casual guy here, I'm like, oh, USA, they got all the momentum here. They're gonna get this, they're gonna figure this thing out. Like they're gonna find a way to win this game. And then that's exactly what they did. And I was even texting you guys in overtime when Jack scored the goal. I was watching it, but like I had my sound down a little bit, and I swear I could not even tell that the puck went into the back of the net. But then I see everybody celebrating, and it was crazy. I was like, that was a hell of a run there, and a hell of an opportunity to get a shot on goal. And I was like, that would have been like the one. And then I turned the volume up, and everybody's going crazy. I see everybody celebrating. Gene, I'm with you. I haven't been into hockey in a really long time, and that game, like that, gave me memories of the 2022 World Cup on the soccer side of things, where we were talking about on this show how that was like one of the best World Cups we've ever seen. Well, that was probably one of the best Olympic hockey matches I've ever seen for sure.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's funny you bring that up because that's what it was like to me. Like except I used to be into hockey. I'm not into hockey right now, but I used to be into hockey. I've never been into soccer. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of getting excited for the World Cup. I shouldn't admit that. It kind of kills my but I'm kind of getting excited.
It's gonna be it'll be different this year because it's in the U.S. too, so it's going to be unavoidable.
I mean, there's a couple local games in Philadelphia.
We have 4, I believe.
I can't wait to watch the Pride game in Seattle. Who's playing in that game?
We're getting back to this.
It's still one of the funniest stories of all time, guys. Egypt and Iran are playing in the Pride game, if you didn't know. Countries that ban homosexuality. It's
a very politically charged episode of Wire2Wire.
What's political about that? All right, guys. Let's move on to the next topic.
All right. So next thing here, we're moving on to the NFL Combine. So that officially starts tomorrow with all of the on-field drills. I feel like this is always one of those fun things to kind of bring up, especially with, a lot of the people who are going to be competing. And it seems like almost everyone's going to be competing. Like we don't have that many players sitting out of things. Fernando Mendoza said he's not going to throw, but outside of that, pretty much all of your other top athletes are going to be competing. Wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. If there's anybody specifically you're looking to see how they test, or even if, I know the 40 is always the fun one to talk about. If there's anybody that you think that may have a chance to take down that 40-yard dash record as well.
I think the one thing that not surprises me, what pisses me off most about the Combine is it's the only time I ever hear about dumb shit like Reuben Bain Jr.'s arm length isn't long enough to be an NFL elite pass rusher. But guys, shut up. Oh yeah, like the hand size, the arm length, like dumb shit like that gets brought up at the Combine. And like, if I'm Reuben Bain Jr., I'm just like, fuck it, I'll go home. I'm still gonna get picked top 5. Like, just watch the national championship. Just watch the college football playoff. Like, what do you need to see more from me?
I think it's interesting for edges. I'm with you. Like, I get it. That makes sense. But like, I do think certain positions do require like certain things. Like we always talked about all the time about, Kenny Pickett having the baby hands. And I'm not saying that's why he's not a good quarterback, but it definitely gives you, a reason to kind of question, what he can do or what he's going to be able to do at the NFL level. And then I think about arms specifically, maybe not at edge. I mean, I guess a little bit at edge, but more so for the tackle position. I think
Really?
if you got short arms, offensive tackle, not defensive tackle.
Oh,
You got short arms. Like maybe I worry about what you can do on the outside when you're going up against, speed rushers that have power. Like you're going up against the Bosas, the Max, the Von Millers and things like that. Maybe I feel more comfortable with you playing guard because things are going to be closer to you. So I hear what you're saying. For some positions, it really doesn't matter, and even for the elite players at tackle and things like that, it shouldn't matter for you either. But I'm with you though. I think Ruben Bain is one of those ones where you should never be worried about his measurables. And the other thing I'll say, just to kind of piggyback off that, is when you see receivers that absolutely dominate at the college level and they go out and run a quote unquote slow 40 time, it's like, well, no one really caught up to them in game when they broke free. I don't really care what their 40 time was. Last year that was Tez Johnson. And for me, I never had an issue with seeing Tez's on-field speed there. So I'm with you on that aspect of it.
I thought you were going to talk about defensive tackle because you know what Milton Williams' nickname was, right?
I do not.
His nickname was T-Rex because he had short arms, and it seemed to help him become a Super Bowl champion and a $26 million defensive tackle that took the New England Patriots to the Super Bowl. I just don't understand. When you watch somebody like Ruben Bain play football, I don't worry about his arm length. I don't think that offensive tackles are going to be able to push him around. Just watch him. Bro, there's certain guys you can watch on film, and they just jump off film. And Ruben Bain Jr. to me is one of those guys that, like, I love everything that guy does. Like I said it about Will Anderson. I'm not saying Ruben Bain is on the same, like, wavelength as Will Anderson Jr. is, but he's not far off. He's really good. I think he's the best edge in this draft. We talked about that before, though. As far as you're talking about when you're talking about the like anybody breaking any records at the combine, I don't know. I'll be interested to watch. I'll pay attention, but when all things are said and done, I guess my question would be, who do you think the next quarterback off the board will be after Fernando Mendoza? Is it Ty Simpson?
I don't think anybody's ready to necessarily play in that next group after Mendoza. And on record, I wouldn't take Mendoza number one. But
who would you take one?
Not a quarterback. I wouldn't.
Not a quarterback. I got you. He's the best quarterback in the draft, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not saying a lot. I would. It's probably going to be Ty. I mean, listen. Not for nothing. As much as Alabama struggled to do certain things this year, a lot of it was not on him. Their line was, very un-Alabama-esque, and they couldn't run the ball. That kid pretty much spent every game fighting for his life. Throws a nice ball. Again, I don't think he's anything other than probably a backup type guy. Maybe the Jets, somewhere down, later in the first round, use him as a bridge guy until they figure out what they want to do. But he's probably the next one off the board. But I think taking him in the first round is just an enormous mistake. But the quarterback position is what it is, and I'm sure that's probably where he's going to go.
I see him being a first rounder, whether it be the Jets or I look at the Rams with their second pick in the first round. You get them to sit behind Stafford for a year, maybe two, and the Rams are never in a position to grab a top quarterback per se. And I'm not necessarily saying that I think Ty Simpson is a top quarterback. I'm just saying I think that could be a situation where you put him with McVay and you let him sit, you let him just learn, and he has talent, like no doubt about it. He's a former 5-star. You saw the flashes while he was at Bama, but like you said, Bill, it was inconsistencies at times, and then also didn't have a good run game or a good offensive line there. So you definitely still have question marks there. But I'm with you though with the Mendoza thing. I think there's too many. I don't want to use the word generational talents, but I think there's some really good top end talent here. If you're the Raiders, I you have to take a quarterback 100%, but the Reuben Baines, the Caleb Downs, the Arvell Reeses, the I think Makai Lemon is going to be special. I'm not saying you draft him at 1 or anything like that, but like I just think the top end, this draft is so top end heavy that I would have question marks with any position, like with the quarterback position specifically.
Those two are going to tell you no, Eric. I'm going to tell you yes. And elite's a strong word, but I think he'll be very good. The question is for the podcast listeners, do we think Mendoza will be an elite quarterback in the NFL? My answer is I think he'll be a very good quarterback. I think he'll be a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Probably not year 1, but I think he'll be top 15. You guys don't think so, right?
No.
Okay. And the next group after Simpson is the who's who of the guys that have been bounced around college football. The Garrett Nussmeyers, Carson Beck, Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller. Like, that's the next group of quarterbacks after Simpson. Any of those 4 guys you see ever being a starting quarterback in the NFL and being good?
I think Drew is still somewhat of a, I don't want to use the word fascinating, but curious case because he has all the physical tools. He has all the, the height, the size, the arm. Does he go to the right situation and actually get developed by somebody not named James Franklin and really learn the position and sitting behind somebody for a couple of years? Maybe. And if that's the case, I think he could be a good quarterback, but not taking him in the first 2 days.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are good, including Drew.
I think the biggest thing with them is that we talk about situation matters all the time. Like, I truly think that with them, there was a point in time where all 4 of those guys were considered first-round quarterbacks. Like, whether it be a year ago or 2 years ago, all of them were considered to be, a first-round quarterback at some point. And so I think the talent is there, but you ultimately have to get it out of them. Like, Cade Klubnik went back to school, and we saw how poorly that went. I think Drew is one of those ones where kind of in a unique situation because, granted, he didn't look great while he was playing, but then he got hurt with the season-ending injury. So, like, we don't ultimately know what his senior year could have looked like there. It's already come out from the Senior Bowl that Nussmeier was playing the back half of the year with an injury, and a lot of people said he was throwing a lot better at Mobile as compared to what he was during the back half of the season at LSU. And then with Carson Beck, I think, me personally, I had a ton of question marks with him, especially with the turnovers, the decision-making, things like that. But then you see Miami go and, make it all the way to the national championship game. And, he didn't necessarily light up the scoreboard or anything like that, but he didn't make a lot of poor decisions like you were seeing him make, throughout his career there. And it gives you something to kind of, I don't know, have
the right
optimism
coach can get it out
about,
of him.
But
like the right coach can get out. But guys, I'll be honest with you. Every one of these quarterbacks scouted, not scouted, but my eye test told me all of them were better than Brock Purdy coming out.
For sure.
Brock Purdy looked like shit at Iowa State.
And
You're talking about a guy
we
who lost 13-3 to Iowa.
Like now.
Correct. Right.
I think I'd be curious to
Kyle
see
Shanahan. So
I'd be curious to see, especially with all of the rumors about what Minnesota wants to do. Not saying I think they draft a quarterback high or anything like that, but like maybe 6th round, 7th round, they get a quarterback and get some competition in there. I like Kevin O'Connell and what he can do at the quarterback position. Obviously, you see what success Sam Darnold had while he was in Minnesota, and then of course he's a Super Bowl champion now. So I'm not out on JJ McCarthy, but I'm curious to see if a situation like that would open up for one of these quarterbacks outside of Ty and Fernando.
That'll eventually happen. You'll eventually be out on JJ McCarthy. It's coming. It's coming.
Just need time.
Okay. Well, 2-3 years from now, you're like Skip Bayless with Tim Tebow. But
no, I was too early on Drake May. Was ready to just take my victory lap, and then next thing I know, he finishes second in the MVP race.
It's fair. Guys, we've been wrong before plenty of times, so I get it. I've been wrong before. Carson Wentz, he's a GOAT. Like, yep. All right, let's move on.
All right, last topic here. It has been announced this past week that Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao will be fighting again. And this is coming on the heels of it being announced that Floyd Mayweather will be fighting Mike Tyson in an exhibition match. And then this one here will be a sanctioned matchup against Pacquiao. And, obviously we are well past the prime of this fight. We were past the first time that they fought. But just wanted to get your guys' thoughts and reactions to this one being signed and, I guess an early look of what you're expecting in that fight.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The whole world begged for this fight 3 years before it happened. And then you finally got it when, they weren't in their prime. Definitely not Manny. And now this is a money grab. Just stay retired, man. Just stay retired. Let the new generation of boxing keep boxing. This is a money grab. I don't even want to watch it because I feel like that supports the bullshit. Shall we?
I mean, if you could find a fuck to give, that would be the first one I would care about. I'm with Gene. I think this is embarrassing. It's not going to look good. I know you're going to have people come out on both sides and say they're both still good boxers. I mean, what Floyd hasn't fought in what? Like, what was Floyd's last fight?
I think Floyd
he fought Logan Paul.
Yeah, he fought somebody else after that in an exhibition. He's actually had a couple exhibitions.
I can't imagine either one of them need money, but who knows? But he
fought John Gotti in Mexico City in August of 2024.
All right, so you'll be almost 3 years by the time that happens. I'm dead spot on with Gene. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to contribute to it. It's not going to look good. It's not. It's going to be a mess. I guess you tune in if you're really curious in hopes that, if it's an actual sanctioned professional fight that maybe Manny wins and Floyd takes his first L, but that's not enough for me. I will probably watch anything else that's on before I pay to watch that.
And I know we talked about it a few months ago, ultimately, but out of curiosity, if Floyd does take a loss in this fight, obviously I'm not going to say it tarnishes his legacy or anything like that, but we had the conversation a few months ago about Bud Crawford, and I know, we were kind of on the fence about if he was better than Floyd already or if he was right there. If Floyd takes a loss right now, does that change your opinion with Bud or give you the small boost that you need to get him over the edge, or what's your thoughts there?
No, it doesn't change my opinion. I don't think this is a real fight. And if Floyd takes a loss, it is what it is. If Manny takes a loss, it is what it is. I don't think any differently of their career. That's like me saying, like, if Mike Tyson takes a loss, do I think he's not a great heavyweight? Like, he's 50-something. Or 60 maybe. I don't know. It's like watching Jordan play for the Wizards and being like, oh, see? Like, he's not that great. Like,
yeah, we know people don't count that year.
No.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't, though.
For me, it doesn't change legacy wise. Like Gene said, like this is a BS throwaway, whatever the hell you want to call it. But if it's a real fight, like that's his record will reflect that. And I already have Bud ahead of him, but it wouldn't change anything for me. But if I'm Floyd, it's very rare that you can be that guy that's as accomplished as he is and sit there and have that zero in that column. It's very, very few and far between. I wouldn't risk it. Like I said, I can't imagine he needs money the way he lives. Maybe he does, but this whole thing is just dumb to me.
I mean, it is dumb. You're not wrong. It's a dumb fight. So it shouldn't matter. So I'm going to ask you a question real quick, right? So, Control, do you think it matters?
No, I don't think it matters at all. I was just curious of, your thoughts on it.
Because here's the debate, right? Who's a better running back all time? Frank Gore or Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders.
Oh, well, Frank Gore has more rushing yards. It's got to be better. I think when you're comparing people, like greatest people ever, you have to really hone in on their peak. Now, if they have a short peak, like, so for instance, I think Calvin Johnson's peak is better than any receiver in the history of football. Problem is, he only had a 4-year peak. So, like, that doesn't put him ahead of Jerry for me. That doesn't put him ahead of Randy for me. That doesn't even put him ahead of T.O. for me because he had such a short peak. But, like, if you have a long peak, 6, 7, 8-year peak, the peak of your career should be what we look at. Not necessarily if a guy plays too long or, like, I don't view it that way. So, like, I'm not judging LeBron on anything he's doing this year. I'm not saying he's not the greatest player of all time because he doesn't play defense at 41 years old. I don't judge him that way.
So I do have a question for you based on that, though. And it's football related. And it's going to go to receivers.
Okay.
Where do you have Antonio Brown then all time?
6th.
Bill's face.
That's crazy.
No, I don't think so. I think it's actually really valid. That's why I was curious because I mean, you look at Antonio Brown's peak, and honestly, if he wouldn't have gotten traded to the Raiders, I mean, it would be a almost no doubt about it first ballot Hall of Famer kind of career.
I mean, if he wasn't a psychopath, he would have been no doubt about it, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, yeah, I mean that too.
My question would be this, right? Who do you think is a better receiver, Antonio Brown or Larry Fitzgerald?
I mean, I would go Larry, but
Antonio's the better prime receiver than Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald just was consistent longer. That's the truth.
That's the word though. Like Frank Gore is a perfect example of where longevity shouldn't matter because you have the fall off. I think if you have a good peak, but that you still have longevity, but you don't fall off a cliff and hang around for 3, 4, 5 years and getting 300 yards, 300, 400, or 500 yards of receiving a year. That's one thing. I think when you look at Larry, who had that longevity and really didn't have the steep decline until the very, very end, that I think matters. I think they're two totally different things. So I think your Frank Gore point was very accurate and right on the money. But I think there's other people who have the longevity that don't have that fall off that I do think, like, because I think I look at T.O. T.O. had a great peak, but he never really had that huge fall off until the very end. Then I think you get bonus points for having that longevity. If you can stay at that level for that long a period of time, then I think it matters.
It's interesting. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but like, do you know Larry Fitzgerald never led the league in receiving yards ever?
I mean, he also played
never had a 1,500 yard. He also never had a 1,500-yard receiving season ever.
I mean, he also played at the same time as Randy and Calvin. So I mean, I don't hold that against him. They never led the league in.
I mean, that's the same time, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's not the same time.
What do you
mean?
Larry
Fitzgerald retired like 5 years ago. Randy Moss retired like 10, 12 years ago.
So
there's 7 years with either one of them not in the league.
So the back end of his career, the back end of Fitz's career, he had neither one of them in the league. Calvin just got into the Hall of Fame, 2 years ago? And like Calvin came into the league in 07, 08, one of those two. So like they were in the league at a lot of the same time. And, Randy was still elite in 2007 for what it's worth. So, I mean, there was definitely a lot of overlap there.
I mean, I get it. I just think that like when you break them down, you're asking yourself, would I rather have the guy that's really good for a long time or a guy that was great for a 6-7 year period? So like then you have Larry Fitzgerald ahead of Calvin Johnson then, right?
No, right behind.
Why is that different?
What do you mean? Why is it different? The eye
I'm
test
asking
also
the
plays the eye test also plays a part of it. Like I look at Calvin Johnson and I look at him almost having 2,000 yards in a season and him being a literal cheat code. Like I get it. Antonio Brown was really good. There is only two other players outside of Calvin that commanded the attention that he did, and that's Randy and Jerry. Not to say T.O. wasn't great, not to say he didn't command a bunch of attention, but when you win the weeks against the Lions, you knew where the ball was going. Like you're double teaming Calvin on the goal line. There's Hail Mary plays where there's a better chance of Calvin coming down with the ball than the defenders. Like I like seeing Calvin play and just dominate football games and go over the top of people and just do everything to be great. For me, like that's more than that. I value that more than what I do with Fitz.
So you're just using eye test because statistically, Antonio Brown was better. He had more yards, same amount of touchdowns.
Career yards, okay, yeah.
He had more career yards and the same amount of touchdowns. So what would be the argument?
So again, did Antonio Brown ever have almost 2,000 yards in a season?
Yeah, it's 1,700.
Well, 1,900 something is more than 1,700.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1,834 was his career high. So
1,900 is still more than that.
Yeah, his career high was better than Antonio Brown's. You're absolutely correct. But
who's better receiver? Who's better? Again, we did this a couple weeks ago.
Calvin
Who's better receiver? Calvin or Antonio Brown?
Calvin Johnson's better receiver.
Okay,
but
so what are we arguing about?
Your Larry Fitzgerald argument just doesn't hold the same water.
It absolutely does hold the same water. You're talking about not leading the league. Like what were the years that Larry didn't lead the league, but he had still crazy years? Like
he only had 2 years where he had 1,400 yards. 2, and that's it. That was the max.
That's incorrect. He had 4 years where he had 1,400 yards. 05, 07, 08,
08
and 2011.
1411, 1431. Yeah, 1409. You're right.
Yeah.
But he also had equal amount of years where he didn't have 1,000 yards. In 06, in between those two. In 2013.
You said, don't you do that. Don't you do that. You said in between those years, 06, between 05 and 2011. That was the only year where he didn't have 1,000 yards and he didn't play 16 games. Don't do that.
Yeah, he had 1,092 in 09, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Is that not 1,000? I mean, this is your parameters we're going off of here.
No, your parameters are exactly like, see, that's the whole point that I'm trying to make. When you watch those two play receiver, you really thought Larry Fitzgerald was the better receiver, peak versus peak?
I'm saying if I had a draft and both of them were in the league at the same time.
Yeah, because Antonio Brown's a crazy person. Take his mental out of it.
You also knew that Larry wasn't dropping the ball.
That's fair. But Antonio Brown returned kicks.
Fair. I mean, I almost saw Larry Fitzgerald. I'm not going to say single-handedly, but Larry Fitzgerald tried to will the Cardinals to a Super Bowl win. Like I didn't see it. I saw Antonio Brown leave the field with his jersey off and his shoulder pads in the middle of the game. So it's different.
Antonio also played on a bunch of better teams too.
I mean, he did. Just curious as we're talking about this, how do you rank your top 6? Because I have Antonio 6. Like, what is your top 6? I'll give you mine right now. Like, Jerry's 1, T.O. is 2, Randy is 3. Yeah, I that's intentional. Randy is 3, Calvin is 4, Marvin is 5, Antonio is 6, and Larry is 7. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. Yes, that's correct. If you know, you know.
Interesting.
Not Marvin Harrison Jr., sorry. I said junior like an idiot.
No, I know who you're talking about.
And what's your top 6, Cottrell?
Mine would be, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Randy. I'd go Randy 1, Jerry 2.
Crazy. Randy 1.
Wild, yeah.
Talk about a guy who never watched Jerry Rice play football.
I mean, I know Jerry is 1, but again,
I get
Randy's
it.
probably
You're
my
goat.
all-time
You're goat.
favorite football player.
That's fair. You're
Uh,
goat.
Number 3 would be T.O. 4 would be Calvin. 5 would be Larry, and then I'd have Antonio right there at 6.
I think that people disrespect Marvin Harrison Jr.'s career. I really wish anybody would just go look up his numbers. He's absolutely ridiculous. Like, we're talking about arguing Larry Fitzgerald and Antonio Brown, and Marvin Harrison Jr.'s numbers dwarf both of theirs.
He also has a top 5 quarterback of all time for his
You're
entire
absolutely
career.
correct. So that's fine. Okay, I agree. That's not.
I'm just saying that plays a part into it, though.
15,000 yards been done 4 times in the history of football. He's one of them.
Frank Gore?
Stop saying junior. Damn it. Marvin Harrison Sr. Thank you.
Just say Marvin Harrison. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Juniors in the league, I get really I don't that. So, Shai, what is your top 6 or 7? How do you look at it?
I go Jerry 1.
I think that should be what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the guy is literally the standard of the position. Randy and T.O. is really it is really an interesting conversation. Because I think if you really look at from the majority of their careers, I actually think you can make an argument that T.O. is the better all-around receiver.
No one says you got T.O.'d.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll go T.O. 2, Moss 3, Calvin 4. I'm trying to think. I'll go. Probably go Larry 5. It's close. And I would go Julio at 6.
Julio at 6? Oh, wow. Talk about peak. That's peak right there. That's what that is.
His 4 or 5 year peak was, I mean, he's got more receiving yards than Antonio does.
You're not wrong.
And he played on some horrible teams.
I mean, Matt Ryan, Hall of Fame quarterback.
No, I mean, before Matt Ryan. I mean, before they got really good. In a couple years where he lost a lot of games because it was that stupid fucking foot thing. But I mean, if you're going by, again, garnered attention and just the eye test, he's one of the best I've ever seen play.
That's full eye test, though. There's like not one statistical category he's better than Marvin Harrison Jr. Not one. Like, not one. Not yards per game, not like touchdowns, not receptions, not like receptions per year, like nothing. Not one thing. Is it? But eye test, I get it. I watched Julio too. So, like, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I hear your point. But there's nothing, like anything.
No, but it kind of goes to Cottrell's point. Like, if you flip flop those two, I don't think Marvin Harrison puts up the same numbers with Atlanta, and I think Julio would put up insane numbers if he played with Peyton Manning.
That's a really fair point. I don't disagree with that point. That's a fun point. Good counterpoint. Punch your counterpuncher. Bang, bang, bang.
And last thing here, I don't know when we're about to move on from it, but just kind of getting back to the combine here real quick. When you're talking about, like, just because we're talking about like Julio's, the Calvins, like, would you consider, like, Julio coming out of Bama was absolutely incredible. And I know we throw the word around, not we, but in general, society throws the word generational around a ton.
Bro is a genius.
Would you consider Julio a generational prospect at that time, or do you think he kind of grew into that, ultimately?
I think he was, mainly because he was kind of one of those. Big thing with Julio was how fast he was, but how big he was. So, I mean, you had that group that came out kind of all together with him, Larry, AJ Green, where it was kind of like a new kind of like, type of receiver. And so I think he was. I mean, the kid had everything, and he went out in the field and proved it. So, I mean, he was definitely – I feel like he didn't get drafted that high, though.
6.
I think it's
Yeah.
actually
Browns traded away.
I think he was. I think he was.
It's funny that we talk about like how some of these receivers look coming out. I feel that way. I feel like there's a generational talent in this draft. I feel like the best player in this draft is bar none, and no one talks about it. And now he's being mocked at 2, which is exactly where he should have been to begin with. I think the best player in this draft, and most no doubt about it, like walk him into Canton, Ohio, is Caleb Downs. And if you watch the guy play football, I don't know how you don't see that. Like we talked about Kyle Hamilton coming out of Notre Dame. He's better. He's better. Caleb Downs is better. And when you watch a guy, it's not just their physical talent. Caleb Downs is incredible physically talented, but it's here. This is what makes Will Anderson Jr. so special. The way he diagnoses plays, the way he can intelligently break down a football game. I think when I see this guy play, I see a top 5 safety ever to play football, and he's not played the down of NFL football.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, we've talked about Caleb. I mean, it feels like forever now, but it's really only been like 2.5 years. But yeah, he's that next, to your point, the next great safety. I think Kyle Hamilton's a great point. I think Kyle Hamilton's probably a little bit bigger, but Caleb he doesn't have a hole in his game where Kyle, I think, I don't want to say had a weakness, but there was definitely things he needed to improve on a little bit when he got to the league. As great as he was, Caleb's going to be plug and play. Like you said, he thoroughly understands the game of football and he thoroughly understands defense. He's going to be a kid no matter what kind of system you have, however you want to use him. And he's athletic enough that I think he's going to be scary because I think if he goes to a team with a good defensive coordinator, you're going to be able to use him in a lot of different ways, which is, the luxury that Ohio State's had the last 2 years. So he is, I don't know if you can draft him number 2 just because of the position. I feel it's kind of that like faux pas of, you just don't get the value there. But I agree with you. He's probably the best. He's probably the best player in the draft.
I'm not saying he's going to be Ed Reed because Ed Reed's just different. But if you knew Ed Reed was in the draft before the draft, would you not take him at 2?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying I wouldn't even be afraid necessarily to draft him at 2. Like if you're drafting 2, you obviously have holes all over your team
Everywhere.
And if you don't have a stud safety, I don't know how you're getting better value than drafting at number 2. You're not worrying about taking, and making a mistake on a quarterback. And again, I think you're getting the universally agreed upon probably best player in the draft.
Correct.
And my mantra on that will always be draft good football players early. Like, I think positional value is so overplayed, and I get it in a sense. Like for the running back position, I 100% understand it. But with that being said, there's certain players that kind of break that mold, right? So like with Atlanta, for example, Bijan Robinson, we talk about it being a mistake and things like that. At the end of the day, Bijan Robinson right now is a top 5 running back in all of the NFL. And honestly, that's just me lowballing it. Like he's probably top 3.
He's not 3.
I agree. But with that said, a lot of people were like, oh, Bijan, they didn't need that, blah, blah, blah. You take good football players and you find a way to work it out later. That's always my mantra, and that's how I feel about Caleb Downs. I think if you have the hole there and he can come in and be your starter day 1, you take him, especially if you're a team that has a lot of holes.
They didn't have an interception last year. You want to bet that changes next year? Hey, if I'm the New York Jets, and I'm telling you something right now, this is crazy to think. I want to draft a winner that's going to come in and change the culture of my team. Why not draft Caleb Downs if you want a winner? Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Positional value.
And I get it. I just don't care about it.
Either.
And by the way, you talked about running back is not a position of value. I'll tell you something here. If I was a GM, I would draft running backs in the first round all the time. I'm going to tell you why. Because when are they good?
early on in their career, you
let me get the 5th-year option. Let me get them locked in for 5 years.
franchise tag, then throw them to the curb.
Correct. Because that would be my first, and I'll pay them low. I don't have to pay them. That's all I would do if I had a team. I would look, Jahmyr Gibbs, first-round running back. No one thought should be a first-round running back. 5th-year option. He's one of the best players in football. Bijan, CMC. Now, granted, it wasn't with the team that drafted him, but like, look at that talent. Saquon, Ezekiel Elliott. Obviously not now, but when they drafted him. But I'm thinking of running backs that were drafted. Look, if I'm the Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders, I draft them in those. Fine, I get it.
Yep.
But I'm putting $100 million of my cap money into the cap. I'm putting it all in the line, into the line. I want to build up my offensive line. I want to let my Maserati that I have in the backfield named Ashton Genty run the football. Because I got 4 years left of them. And I'm playing 2 tight end sets all day. Give me Bowers and Mayer on the outside. Bang, bang, right there. That is my plan. I'm going to have the best offensive line money could buy. And I'm going to push people around. Sorry.
It's a good philosophy for sure. And I know we're going to probably get more into it next week because NFL free agency will be basically here. So, for sure. And I mean, I'll be curious to see where Jeremiah Love ultimately ends up too, because I think he's going to be the only running back taken in the first round. So at what point do teams say, hey, we're going to draft this running back here? And I don't want to say he's a can't miss prospect, but I mean, I think he's one of those ones where, like, if I had 10 guys who I was sure about, he is 100% in that group of 10.
Agreed.
I don't. So can I ask you this? And I don't want to go too far off this, but this is a terrible running back class. Am I right when I say that? I think it's a terrible running back class.
Yeah, if you're looking for a starter, yes, it's a terrible class.
And when I look at Jeremiah Love, I don't think he's going to be a better running back than what Bijan is.
Nope.
I don't think he's going to be better than Gibbs.
Nope.
I think Jeremiah Love can be a better version of Kenneth Walker. And that's what I see in Jeremiah Love. A better version. That guy just won a Super Bowl MVP. I'm not shitting on Kenneth Walker, but I don't think he's generational. And if he's not generational, I don't take him in the first round.
My argument against that would be, I think he has glimpses to where, do I for sure see him being better than Bijan or Jahmyr? No. But could I see him going to the right? Like, for example, I've been mocking Jeremiah Love to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if I see Jeremiah Love next to Patrick Mahomes in an Andy Reid offense, I think he could look very similar to what you saw from Saquon Barkley his rookie year with the Giants.
Whoa, that's a very, very high ceiling.
Saquon is one of his favorite comps.
It's not to say that I think he's going to be Saquon. I'm just saying I think right system, right team around him. He has all the talent in the world. He has the elusiveness. He has the breakaway speed. He has the power to go with it. He can catch the ball out the backfield. Like Notre Dame, I've started to watch Jeremiah Love tape. Notre Dame has split him out wide a couple times and played him in the slot. Like, he has all the tools 100%. I just think he needs to not be in a spot like Genty was, where you just kind of get run into the dirt behind an awful offensive line and a bad offense, and you just don't have that production there. I think in the right spot, though, he can absolutely bloom into, a top 10 running back in the league all day long.
I was going to say, I think he's a top 7, top 8 guy. I don't think he has the ceiling of Bijan or Gibbs or kind of what Saquon's turned into now. But I think he's in the next group. Like, I think if you put it if they came out in the same class, I would have gave really hard consideration taking him over Genty.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, we gotta move. Guys, why we're debating this? Do you guys want to knock trivia out and then we get in college basketball? I don't want to shortchange college basketball. How do you guys feel about that?
That's good with me.
Because we got a fun MLB debate coming up. Like, I almost would rather do MLB after trivia and then end with college basketball. Can we?
Whatever
Can we
you guys
like,
want to
change-
do. I'm flexible.
Phil, is that all right with you?
Oh, man.
All right. Trivia is ready. Me and Kittrell. Bang. After last week's robbery.
I mean, this is going to take 25 minutes anyway, so.
It better not.
The last 10 Olympic curling countries.
I'll just concede.
I would say I wouldn't even do that because that'd still be too easy. You guys would just get it out of like process of elimination. All right, here we go. I got it as basic as possible as I could do. NASCAR's 2 races into their season. My
he
God,
really did
actually,
it.
Tyler Reddick has won both for Jordan 11 Racing. So we're gonna go with top 10 most laps led in NASCAR history.
Good luck, Control.
All right. I mean, I'll go with the guy who it felt like my childhood won it all every year. I'm going to go with Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson's number 9. I give you credit. That's not the question we're really going to do, but you did get one right.
I would have did Jeff Gordon, but
Jeff. All right. Well, now for shits and giggles. Now we're going to see how far you guys can go. This isn't the real question though. Jeff Gordon's number 6.
I'll go Richard Petty.
Number 1.
Dale Earnhardt.
Number 4.
Who else do I know from NASCAR?
That's 4 for 4, by the way.
Hey, that's good. That's good stuff right there, Gene.
It is. There's maybe this is where it stops though.
This is a good one right here. I don't know how that's on the list. Lightning McQueen, baby.
There's one more maybe you get, and that's probably it.
Denny Hamlin.
Honest, there's 2 or 3 on here that it would have took me a while to get.
Denny Hamlin.
No.
I'm not. I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr.
No.
One of the Bushes.
Which one?
Is it Kurt or Michael?
Kyle.
Kyle.
Who said
Kurt
Kyle
or Michael
first?
Busch?
I said Kyle.
Kyle's number 10. Kurt, you my guy.
There we go.
Kurt's not on here though. All right, here's the real
What
question.
about Rusty Wallace?
Oh shit! All right. Rusty's number 8.
I cheated because Eric said it in the chat. I'm turning the chat off. Chat's off.
Gene, we would have been all right there.
You got 6 of the 10. I'm kind of impressed.
You should be. I'm a flexible guy.
There's one more that's kind of a household name. The other 3 you guys aren't getting.
All right, I'm out of that.
All right, real question. Here we go.
He actually had a NASCAR.
I won't fucking with you. After the robbery of last week. All right, here we go. In the spirit of baseball, we'll segue trivia right into baseball. That's how good I am. Top 10 active run leaders in Major League Baseball.
Okay. I will go with Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts is number 6.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout is number 5.
Freddie Freeman.
Number 1.
Oh, that's a good one. Goldie.
Number 3.
Bryce.
Number 7.
It's a good one. Trey.
Strike 1 for Gene.
Really? Leadoff hitter, steals bases. It's kind of wild.
I'm gonna go with I'll go with Giancarlo.
That'll be strike 1 for you, sir.
I gotta start thinking now.
Oh, I got another one. I got one. I got one for sure.
Hey, you're interrupting my thinking time.
Good. Blah blah blah.
It's working. It's working. Sorry, I'm going through teams. Good for a long time. Good for a long
10
time.
seconds, sir.
I fully understand that. Nelson Cruz.
Not on the list.
Jose Altuve.
Number
That's
4.
great. That's it. I don't know. That's great. You
That's
said
the
it
one
too
that
quick.
came to mind. It came to mind.
out.
That's why I had to get it out there.
I think I'm kind of cooked, bro. I'm just thinking. I'm going through like.
Is it 4-2?
Yeah. No, I think I have 3.
I think I'm up.
He went first. It's 4. He went
4-3.
first.
Yeah, 4-3.
Nolan Arenado.
That's a good one.
He's not on the list. It can't be 4-3 because you're missing 4.
Okay, so it's 4-2 then.
I got Betts, Harper, Altuve,
Freddie. Gene's got Goldie, Trout.
Manny Machado.
Number 9.
I can't catch up.
You
Nice
still tie.
win. Oh,
You still tie.
Nice win, Cottrell.
You still tie.
Schwarber.
Force overtime. Who?
Schwarber.
No.
Jose Ramirez.
No.
I can only think of really good players now. Corey Seager.
No.
Carlos Correa.
Nope. You guys are hitting a lot of people from like 11 to 25, though.
I got another one.
I mean, you got another one, you win.
No, I'm just saying, like, I thought of another name. That's what I'm saying.
Why am I so blanking on this?
Number two is surprising. Number 8.
Andrew McCutchen.
Is it your turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
McCutchen's number 2. 2 left.
That's a good one.
Number 8, number 10.
Bellinger.
Nope.
Eight and 10. Ha! Why am I so drawing a blank, man? My brain is matched with bullshit.
$10 seconds, and I'll give you guys hints. $5 seconds.
Acuna.
No.
I knew it wasn't. I just said his name. I didn't want to time out without giving a name.
All right. So one guy has played for Cleveland, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Minnesota, and the Cubs.
What the hell?
And the other guy, no, it really gives it away, but the other guy's played his whole career with Milwaukee.
I know what that is.
Whole career with Milwaukee. See, I feel like I want to say Christian Yelich.
That is correct.
He didn't play his whole career in Milwaukee.
Mm.
He played for Miami.
Oh, Miami, Milwaukee. Yeah. Yelich is number 10.
I didn't know that he
Give a
played in
bad
Miami.
hit.
That's crazy. It's actually crazy because I literally didn't know he played in Miami.
And number 8.
My other guess My other guess was is Carlos Santana.
That's number 8.
Yep.
Great one. Killed me, bro. Dominated. Turn the comments back on. Hopefully people are laughing at me. I said Schwarber. I got it wrong. He's too young. That's a great answer. Probably not. Great answer. You guys killed it in the chat. Way better than me.
Show hasn't been playing long enough.
I know.
I wonder,
Guys,
do you know how close Judge is by chance?
He was a little further down. Trey Turner was like 17th.
Who was 11?
Fuck. Closed it.
I don't worry about it. We'll get college basketball. It's not, I mean,
I
think it's fine with
I actually think Arenado was 11th.
so close. I was so close.
New year, new
Guys,
me.
we have a fun thing for baseball right now. I see you guys are locked in baseball. We have a fun thing that we're going to start. Each year we used to do top list. We don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something more fun this year. And kneecap biting, I'm so glad you're in the chat because I know you're a Detroit fan. So we are breaking down the AL Central, and we are making our all AL Central team. And that team is going to go against next week's team, which will be the all NL Central team. And then we're going to do it for the East, and then we're going to do it for the West. So when I was putting together the all AL Central team, guys, this shit's loaded. Like, absolutely loaded.
Agreed.
Way more loaded than I thought it was. So can we agree our starting pitcher is easy and we can just move on to the next one?
Tanner Bybee?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Tariq Skubal is your starting pitcher.
I was about to be like, this is really how we're going to start this shit.
Absolutely. He's moving forward. Yes.
Shally, start us at catcher.
Catcher, believe it or not, I think is a little bit closer. I think you can make an argument. I think overall production, still though, I think you have to give a slight nod to Salvador in Kansas City.
Okay. I'm with Salvatore also.
I would agree there. No quorums for me yet.
Dingler or the Indians guy?
Dingler. If I'm going a backup, Dingler is my backup.
Yeah.
I think he's closing the gap.
Naylor can't hit. Well, not consistently.
Most catchers can't.
First base where it starts getting debatable.
Well, you know who? I don't know if you guys have saw, but you know who the newest Guardians first baseman is most likely going to be this season?
Who's that? Rhys Hoskins?
One Rhys Hoskins, your old friend.
Guess who I'm not picking?
I mean, I think Vinny Pasquantino is the answer, but
I am with Gene on this one. I'm with Vinny as well.
I have no complaints there. We are.
you want to start second base? Second base is kind of wild because there's not really any elite second baseman in the AL Central. There's no one that's elite.
You're right. Who did I have here for this? I think I wrote down. I had Gleyber Torres for my second baseman.
I mean, it's not a bad pick. He's probably like right now might be better, but I'm going to take the young kid. I'm going to take Colt Keith of the Detroit Tigers. I think he's young, up and coming. I think he's like 21 years old. 24 actually. Just looked it up.
I know we're trying to make the best team now, so I do agree with Gene's sentiment. But if we're going for known quantity, and I guess kind of I guess where we feel the most comfortable, we know what we're probably definitely going to get out of somebody. I would have to go with Cottrell on this one to go Glaber.
Well, the nice thing is that next year we won't have to have a debate on this because it's going to be Travis Bazzana next year. So
I have him on my dynasty team.
Nice.
I mean, shortstop and third base should be not debatable.
Yeah, this is probably the second and third easiest selections.
Bobby Witt Jr. is my shortstop. J. Ram is my third baseman.
Yep, same.
No doubt about it. Outfield, 2 of the 3, in my opinion, should be.
Talking about Riley Green and Stephen Kwan.
Yep.
Yeah,
Who's your third? Mine's Parker Meadows. Another Tiger. I think the Tigers are going to be really fucking good this year.
Everybody jump on the Tigers bandwagon like I did last year. Now.
I mean, you were right.
And guess they didn't win the division, so who's right? Nah, don't say that.
It's all right. I said they're going to be good.
I think they're going to be really good this year.
Yeah, they asked Ramber. They are going to be a pain in my ass this year for sure.
Pitching staff's going to be loaded.
I have Meadows. Who do you got, Shal? Third outfielder.
Kind of torn on this one. Meadows is one of them. It just all depends on this guy stays on the field or not.
I already know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
he's more talented.
What?
He's more talented, the guy you're referring to.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Buxton.
Definitely a more talented player.
I think Byron is going to probably DH a lot more this year. I would probably go Parker, but Byron is incredible. But like I said, I just think he's gonna probably be a DH more often than him playing out in center field.
I think they just have to get him. He almost has to get the Trout treatment, and at least split, because he plays the game hard and he runs into walls and stuff like that. And it's part of the reason he gets hurt all the time. So
I was going to say they got to try to keep him out. Granted, I don't think the Twins are going to be that good, so I don't think they're going to necessarily try and save him from anything, but got to keep him out there on the field.
So do we do DH? Because there's not really in this division. I was looking at it, and there's not really like a known quantity DH. Like I guess the closest one would be Kerry Carpenter. I just don't know.
Kerry would probably be that guy. Or
Kerry's more. I think Kerry's more of a DH than he is an outfielder. But
that's what I was saying. He'd be a DH.
He said Spencer Torkelson. Isn't Torkelson?
He plays. If he could play first, he can DH. Spencer. I mean, Spencer's another guy. At least would be nominated. You definitely have to discuss. But
that's the problem with DH, though, bro. I think he's more of a first baseman than anything. Like if we're picking the best lineup, though, I guess you go
Byron. I would go Byron at my DH.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. And he doesn't get hurt.
Exactly. That's what my mindset would be.
If you're just going your best player there, that didn't make the field. You can go Byron Buxton or Spencer Torkelson. Yeah. But if you're going with a guy to DH primarily, like how are we doing that? We didn't really discuss that part. That's my fault.
I think Byron will. I think he'll have more at bats as a DH than a center fielder this upcoming year.
Also, are we going overall bullpen or closer? Because I put closer, but I'm fine with either one.
I think we should close. I think bullpen gets kind of
convoluted.
Yeah.
Then it's Kate Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy how you go from one of the best middle relievers in baseball and just kind of get thrown into the closer role and just figure it out.
Somebody was throwing pitches, bro.
Baptism by fire, though.
Yeah, the guys ahead of you get indicted on federal gambling charges. I mean, that speeds up the timeline a little bit.
For sure. The crazy part is that they had it, like the allegations and stuff are also from that 2024 season, and he was lights out in the playoffs.
You can be lights out all you want. If you tell somebody that my second pitch, I'm going to throw 6 feet into the dirt, just bet ball. Like, sure. And then everything else is the same. I get it.
He definitely had the concept was great. The execution was piss poor.
Yeah, well, when there's, just to be clear, and this is the part I don't think anybody understands, $4,300 average bet on a pitch, and 300 grand was bet on his pitches. Like that's a red flag. Like
it's the same thing that gets people like. It's funny. We had this hypothetical the other day because we were talking about a movie. I'm not going to bring up the whole thing, but it's to Gene's point. Greed is always what gets you caught. Because again, you could have sat there and instead of betting 200 grand if the guy just pipes a fastball like 99 in the corner, for anybody to go on a betting app and be like, you know what, I'm going to bet 100 grand this next pitch is in the dirt. That's wild. Like that. Like so.
That's
again,
another level of gambling.
Yes, if you're smart and you know what, I'll do this over the course of 100 games this season.
I noticed that. I noticed that Clase comes in out the bullpen, and that first pitch is just bad. Let me just ride this wave until I can't anymore.
Yeah, let me ride this
wave a couple times.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like
yeah, let me ride the wave until the FBI knocks my fucking door down, because that's what's gonna happen.
I think it's wild though that the one pitch that he actually had and it got called a strike. It was so far in the dirt, but somebody still swung at it and like. They were having the text exchange about.
I was in a fixed game and I had the ball and the guy swinging. I'm like, what the fuck? Man? It's like when you have a team and they're like plus 7.5, and then they're winning by 6, and somebody decides they want to dunk at the end of the game. Like, you scumbag. That never happened to me before.
Greed always. That's a bad beat. Greed always gets you caught. We were like, it's funny because we were just talking about sports betting, and then we were also talking about like if you were like a world-class thief and you actually set yourself a number and then you actually got to that number to where you were like, I could walk away and you'll never get caught. You walk away and live comfortably or whatever, or would you just keep going and pressing your luck? And it's usually the people that just keep going and then they eventually get caught.
Good luck, brother. I hope you feel better. I'm just shooting him. He's been in comments. Thank you. I think this is going to be a fun, breakdown. And I think that we got to figure out one, like in the matchups, one matchup that's like next week should be fun. We're going to do.
I think you'll naturally get that. I think you'll get better discussions with certain other divisions as well. Like I think the Central is just was kind of more cut and dry than I think a lot of other divisions are going to be.
Well, I think the Central could win it all.
I absolutely can't wait until we get to the NL East.
Yeah, like NL East is a shit show. Like it is.
Trey Turner, Frankie Lindor, like that's literally what you have to decide.
Like you're gonna have to leave one of them off, like completely.
Correct. Because you can't. Your DH is Schwarber. Like you're not like, so I'll stick one of them at DH. You can't.
Yeah, which means you're either taking. I mean, you're leaving Matt Olson or Bryce Harper off.
Correct. Can I move Trey to second base?
No.
Nope.
I'm kidding. Guys, let's talk about the World Baseball Classic. Starts next week.
March 4th.
Yeah, next week. I think we're on a crash course for the Americans versus the Dominicans.
That's what we thought last time, too.
I don't think Japan's got the team or the horses this year to really compete. I think with Skeens and Skubal at the top of the American rotation, with the bats that they have, and then that Dominican team is absolutely loaded. Is there any team that you can see knocking off the Americans or Dominicans in this World Baseball Classic?
I was just going to say, I think the biggest thing with the American team is the lineup is going to be similar, but the pitching is going to be drastically better than it was last time. You mentioned Skubal and Skeens, and last time, I think Kelly was our number 2. So it's going to be a very formidable team. I think pitching wise, I think top to bottom, I don't know if anybody has a better staff than what the Americans are going to roll out.
don't know how you can. You have two best pitchers in
But
baseball.
my question would be though is that Kneecap actually just said it. So Scooble said he's only pitching one game the entire thing, and Skeen just come out and said he's only planning to pitch 2 games for the entire thing. Do you think that messes with the momentum, or ultimately what you want to do out there, or?
No, because those guys are already. I mean, listen. I mean, the only thing you have to be, I guess, super strategic with would be Scooble. Skeens you can pitch early on. Let him get his innings in, and then rest him until the end. Those guys, you got to realize pitchers, they don't go home all winter and don't pick up a baseball. Like those guys start throwing in January. So they're not going to go out and throw 100 pitches, but at the same time, it's not like Scooble's not going to be sharp. So if they wait till, if they can make it to the semifinals and line it up to where they'll go, all right, we'll go Scooble in this game, and then we'll let Skeen start the final. I mean, it's not that hard to do to lay it out that way. So,
and there's not a lot of teams that are competitive with the Americans.
You're not gonna burn them on something stupid.
Yeah, we're not pitching them versus Canada, bro.
No.
Well, Scooble already said he has like the game already picked out. He's facing Great Britain on March 7th, so he is getting burned in a game that you're not necessarily.
That makes no sense.
Needing him.
I highly doubt that's the only game he pitches in.
What I'm just saying. That's what he came out and said. I read it earlier.
I just feel like there's more to that. There might be some gamesmanship going on already. Then there's no way he's I just look at it like if I'm him, there's no way I'm going to the World Baseball Classic and participating and me being like, yeah, I'm going to pitch against Great Britain and then I'm just going to sit here the rest of the time and not play. Like I just don't see that.
It's a joke, by the way. It was a joke.
They don't have an awful team though.
Yeah. But they're in the World Baseball Classic, so.
Yeah.
But you still have Nolan McLean, who's a great pitcher. Logan Webb, who's a very good pitcher. Mason Miller's going to come out of your bullpen. Like they're loaded with pitchers. They'll be fine. I think the Americans are absolutely loaded in a lot of places. Gunner's there, Bobby Witt's there, Bryce Harper. Obviously Bregman, Cal Riley, the dumpers in that lineup. Their outfield is going to be able to run around for days. You got Judge and Schwarber in the lineup. Like their outfield, and it's crazy. You're going to move Judge. See, that's the funny part. How do you think they handle that? Judge can't play outfield for them. Like the way they have their outfield, you're going to have Roman Anthony, Byron Buxton, and PCA. Like hit a fly ball in the outfield. It's getting caught.
Yeah, but if you want to, one of them's going to have to play though.
I know you're right because Judge and Schwarber need to be in that lineup.
Yep. Which means you're going to put Judge in right. I honestly at that point, we're just talking about. Buxton's probably the odd guy out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe. He's the only true center fielder out of the three of them though, so I don't know.
PCA can put.
Yeah, he can, but that's.
Have you guys really looked at the Dominican roster?
I haven't.
I have. Yeah.
Augustin Ramirez, and Austin Wells are their catchers. Junior Caminero, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, Kettle Marte. That's Carlos Santana is like a Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, O'Neal Cruz, Tatis. That team is absolutely loaded.
Is Ellie playing with them this year?
No.
They'll be in the same boat though. They're not going to be able to have all of them on the field at the same time, but
they're also going to have Christopher Sanchez as probably their lead starter. Alcantara is going to pitch. I think
that's their weakness if they have one.
What, the pitching?
Yep.
Yeah, they have really good pitchers though. Christopher Sanchez is one of the top pitchers in baseball.
I'm not talking about Sanchez. I'm talking about everybody behind him though.
Severino and Alcantara are going to be fine in the World Baseball Classic. It's the dog days of summer that become them.
I get it, but they're going to be facing all-star lineups. None of those guys are not anywhere close to what they were 4 years ago.
rotate them at DH. I get it. All right. What's your prediction for a World Baseball Classic? I go Americans over Dominicans.
I mean, who did Japan really lose?
It's not who they lost. They can't pitch Otani, which is a huge,
I get it, but like that's it. I mean, I'm going U.S. over Japan.
Did Yamamoto pitch last time?
Yes.
I mean, last time you were on here, you were telling me how that team could win the World Series. So now you're telling me Shohei can't pitch, and now they're not.
So that team still could win the World Series. This is an all-star team.
I get it. They faced all-star teams last time. So I mean, if you're telling me the only difference is Shohei just can't pitch this time, I don't think he pitched a ton last time.
USA over Israel? Like that's not serious.
Israel is like one of those teams. Like it's not awful because of that. Here come the politics again, but I think if you can claim, I think if you're Jewish, I think technically you can play for Israel. Leave it at that.
All right, well,
I'm going U.S. over Japan.
Okay.
No one's being bold and taking another country over the U.S.
I mean, you can.
Nah, I won't do that. I'll take the U.S. I'll take the U.S. over. You say the Dominican Republic full lineup, and I fully think that. I mean, I'd be very shocked if they're not there at the end. I'll take the U.S. over the DR.
It's so insane. Like,
and the
your
thing,
lineup's
Frankie's not even there.
Flag, Manny Machado, Kettle Marte, like Junior Caminero. Their outfield's they're gonna have to sit one of Soto, Tatis, Julio Rodriguez, and O'Neal Cruz. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, God willing, hopefully they leave Soto out there, but I doubt they will. He'll probably just DH.
Who's their shortstop? I mean, obviously, I know it would have been Frankie, and he was planning on playing before he got hurt. But Ellie not being there, who's playing short for them?
Machado played shortstop for them the last time in the World Baseball Classic. I guess they could start Pena.
Oh, they got Jeremy Pena is with them.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm just trying to because they might start Machado at short again. He played for them at short last time. He likes playing shortstop.
He came up as a shortstop before he moved to third. I don't know if he could play short anymore, but I don't know who the other third baseman would be. I guess it would depend on which combination's better.
All right, let's get into some college hoops, boys. College basketball.
Let's do it.
Where do you want to start, Joe?
Where do you want to start is the question.
You know where I want to start. You know exactly.
Let's talk about it.
So I did my due diligence finally. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of them. And I finally did. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't want him on my team. I'm looking at another Ben Simmons. Darren Peterson is a fucking loser. I don't want him anywhere near my basketball team. I don't care how talented he is. He checks himself out of games. He half-ass plays. He doesn't try on defense. It's just a showcase for the kid to make the NBA. I can't stand him. So, Cottrell, tell me why this guy should be the number one overall pick.
I'm not necessarily going to advocate and say he should be the number one overall pick because I think you still do have AJ and you got Cam, and both of those players are absolutely in the running for that pick. However, my pushback, I guess, would be is you say it's a showcase for him. Like all he's doing is going out there and showcasing that for the league, essentially what he can do. Well, if that was the case, like I think right now, no doubt about it, top 5 pick, right? Would you agree with that, Darren Peterson? if
Yes.
everything checks out and teams
Shouldn't be,
aren't
but
thrown
yeah,
off
I don't
of
want
him.
him on my team.
But talent wise, you'd say top 5 pick, right?
Talent wise, he's number 1.
Okay. So with that said, he's played enough games already, and obviously we see he keeps kind of checking himself out of basketball games. Could he not just shut it down and say, I'm going to focus the rest of my year on going pro and rehabbing and getting better and going from there? Like, wouldn't that be an option for him at this point?
Would it be shocking to you if he opted out of the tournament?
No.
That's crazy. That's a loser. I don't want losers. Listen, John Suggs, I think you were the one that said it, so I'm going to give you credit. You might not have been. You might tell me I'm wrong. But, John, do you remember the arguments I used to get into about 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago about Ben Simmons? And everybody's like, yeah, but I don't want him. He's a loser. The guy doesn't try to win. He doesn't care about his team. And I was dead wrong because that's exactly what he was. But you have to listen to your own, you have to learn from your own mistakes. And learning from your mistakes means I don't want Darren Peterson because the guy's a loser. And I don't want a guy that doesn't care about winning. I want a guy that competes. So when you draft somebody number 1 overall, what are you hoping they become?
Superstar.
Right? Do you think Kobe Bryant, if he was in college basketball, would, let me check out. Not enough. Do you think like some of these guys that are that competitive would want to not play and not win and half-ass it on defense or really kind of put the effort forward, check themselves out of games that aren't do you think that mentality is what you'd want in an NBA locker room? I want someone that would give anything for the win. That's who I want. I want Tyrese Maxey. I want a guy that gives everything they have. It's not narrative. I watched it. It's not narrative. I watched it with my own 2 eyes.
My question though would be, if it comes out that he was truly playing through injuries game in and game out, and that's why he was checking himself out, would you not feel like an asshole for saying,
No.
The kid's a loser?
No. The kid's averaging 1.4 assists per game. The kid's averaging less than 4 rebounds
Not a
per
point
game.
guard.
He's a 6'6". My guy, if you can't get a rebound, you can't bro,
He
the
can get
guy
a bucket.
he can get a bucket.
You're not drafting him to play defense or rebound.
I'm just saying,
I hate when someone says narrative. I'll give you 3 games to go watch, okay? If you don't want to believe me, go watch the Iowa State game, go watch the Cincinnati game, and go watch the Houston game. And they won the Houston game. But watch him. Watch him in those games. That's 3 games in the last 2 weeks that I watched. And we talk about narrative. Go watch him play.
Again, I'm not saying that you're necessarily wrong here, Gene. I think
I'm right.
it's very possible that you're right. But with that said, you know what this reminds me of? And this one hits close to home for me.
Oh, you're gonna say Ant, aren't you?
No, not Ant, but Ant is a good example. We didn't necessarily think Ant was a quitter. We just didn't know if Ant loved basketball. He was going to put in the time to, go to the gym and work on his craft and do stuff like that. I was going to say different sport here, but this reminds me of Jackson Smith and Jigba's time at Ohio State and what happened his last year there. Because I remember you being overly critical of him about, sitting out games, and he didn't come back for the playoff and things like that. But we haven't heard a peep from JSN since he's been in the league. There's never been question marks about, who he is as far as working hard, or if he's going to, sit out or half-ass things and things like that. So I'm just saying, if it ultimately comes out, I think it's possible to come out that Darren Peterson was actually hurt and he was just trying to play basketball for his 1 year that he's going to be in college before going to the league. I think that's possible. But I also think that it's hard to ignore what you see with your eyeballs, and you see him going up to Bill Self hey, take me out the game. I'm not feeling right. And then he's not playing, late in games, or the fact that this seemingly happens whenever they're in a big time matchup, whether it be, Houston or Iowa State or, any of the big time schools that you're seeing Kansas play. seems to be when he's injured. So, like, again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're off base. I'm just saying I don't have as firm of a stance as you quite yet because I feel like the jury's still out.
Charlie, I'm going to ask you in a second, but I want to read. I appreciate your comments. Let me just be very clear. Let me give them their due respect, right? Outside of the narrative you see in here, you don't know me. That's fine. I appreciate you joining the podcast. And that's fine. I promise you that I don't come to opinions over narrative. I've watched him check out of games. I've watched him half-ass games. That's me. It's not a lazy narrative when you watch him play. I don't. And funny thing is, I had no like or dislike of the player until I watched him play. There are plenty of players I watch and I'm like, I love them. Plenty of players I watch and I don't love them. I'll give you an example. I was really high on Evan Turner. Evan Turner did not make it well in the NBA, but I loved the way he played basketball. I was wrong about Evan Turner. I've been wrong about players before. I was dead right about Alex Lynn. I've been right and wrong about players before. So I want to give you your and once again, is the kid talented? Absolutely. I was wrong about Anthony Edwards. I have no problem admitting that.
Same.
But when you say this, the kid averages 2 steals per game. He hustles everywhere. So he does play defense. Or when you say this, Joel Embiid finished 3rd for Defensive Player of the Year twice in his career. Does he play defense now? Not so much. I don't love Luka. I've been more critical of Luka than anybody on this show. So let's be clear. I know that you're used to guys that don't watch the game breaking it down. I do. So I respect your opinion, but I disagree with it. Respectfully. Shall I?
Yeah, so this is, I mean, I've watched enough Canes this year. There's a lot of what Gene said is true. The problem I'm having is he had the hamstring pull earlier in the year. I mean, obviously, I don't think they're faking that. This other thing with all this cramping and his body doesn't load electrolytes correctly, and I don't know. I mean, that's way above my pay grade. That's they're gonna have to figure it out. But the problem you become is kind of like what Gene said. You get in close games, and your adrenaline starts to pump, and then the problem with that is what causes him to cramp even faster, and he does take himself out of games. Now that being said, if my quads are cramping and I can't run, I'm not going to stand there and watch people run by me. I mean, you have to come out of the game. So I don't know necessarily if everything's on the up and up and everything is true. I don't know what we expect him to do. And I guess that's kind of just a weird spot I'm in. But there have been times where he hasn't hustled and he's been fine. And there's been times where he looks very disinterested and he's fine. I don't think he gets along great with his teammates, and that's probably for obvious reasons. So there's a lot of validity to all that as well. Can the kid play basketball? Yeah, when he wants to. He's really good. He's really good. I hate the Ben Simmons thing, but that being said, you have to give some credence to it, because if you go back and remember it, the one thing that the one head scout wrote, I don't think the kid loves basketball.
Yeah.
And if
one of the best scouting reports of all time.
Yeah. And if that's the case with him, I don't know if you can risk taking him number one and making him the kid, the face of your franchise and the kid you're going to build around. It's a big risk. There's so many parts to this, which just makes it, again, intriguing and why everybody's talking about it. Because it's, I don't think Bill Self. I would say this. I think if they thought the kid was faking it, and it was something like that, I don't think Bill Self will put up with it. I just truly think he would just
Agreed.
sit. Bill Self's not going to get bullied by anybody. The guy's too good of a coach, and he's been there forever.
Especially with Kansas being 9-2 with him not playing. Like I think
Correct.
if that was the true concern, that it was okay, we're tired of him just picking and choosing when he's going to play. I do think at a point Bill Self would dismiss him from the team no matter how talented he is.
Yeah. So, and it's even piggyback on that even more. Like I think, can you pick a kid number one if he really does have some weird, rare neurological issue to where his body doesn't hydrate properly, or and he's got constant cramping? Like, this kid's getting the best care possible, in college. So there's just it's a complicated thing, and there's 8 different things within the big topic to talk about. But again, I think part of the reason it's intriguing is you can be on the side of kind of me and Cottrell on, but a lot of what Gene said is true too. So you take the medical part out of it, and if you do watch them, that you can see it with your own eyeballs. That's all there too. So it's nuts. It's nuts. So I'm very curious to see how it plays out down the stretch for Kansas, and then obviously what happens come draft time.
But see, I'm not crazy, right? I have 5 players in this draft that I would draft ahead of Darren Peterson, and I want Cottrell to stop me, or you stop me when I say something that's crazy to you.
Okay.
There's
none of them are going to be crazy, but
Cam,
no,
yeah,
AJ,
yep,
Caleb.
Mm.
I'm making sure we're good, Cottrell.
I'm good.
Makes sense.
Kingston Flemings, love him. One of my favorite players in this draft.
Makes sense.
And Nate Ament. And if you watch Nate Ament play basketball the last 2 weeks, you'll understand why I said Nate Ament. That kid's going to take Tennessee through a couple games in the NCAA, like 100%. They're the 5 names I take ahead of him. And I don't think about it. They all look like they love the game of basketball. It's not like a Peterson bashing thing. It's I watched him. He looks disinterested. I hate that. I don't want that. And maybe it's me being older. Maybe it's because I'm 40. Maybe I'm like still living that nostalgic years of watching Kobe, watching MJ, watching like guys that will die to win on the court.
Well,
I mean,
I think that the one thing that a lot of people do is talk about that like nostalgia, and not saying like that's exactly what you're doing here, but like there's more players than Kobe and MJ. Like that's not the should they be the standard in terms of the greatness? Yes.
But that's what I'm comparing. Those are the guys that I watched that were absolute killers. Let me ask you a question. Can you give me guys in this NBA right now that even come close to that lack of competitiveness? Not lack, but that level of competitiveness. Because watching Wemby in that All-Star game, I love him now. I love him. I liked Wemby for a long time. I love him now. Cooper Flag.
For sure. I mean, guys absolutely compete, but like I think there's different ways to compete, right? It's like I say that because I think about like when I say, if you say Luka Doncic, he doesn't strike you as one of those guys like a Kobe or like an MJ that you would say like competes like that. But if you think back to how he was in Dallas, like those series where he was going up against the Clippers, like he was giving everything he had to try and win those series. Like he led them to the NBA Finals. Yeah, Luka.
Yeah, but he doesn't play. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, he did. I mean,
but
that's.
But I'm saying like that's like
point.
he is the one that's going to like Luka is a guy who, granted, defensively not there, but I'm just saying like he's the one like refusing to lose basketball games. Like Luka absolutely is in that category because what he can do on the offensive end. Does it look like MJ? Does it look like Kobe? No, but I still think that's a competitive spirit.
Okay,
I get it. I think Steph's one for me.
I love watching Steph play basketball. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can ever watch them play and
Giannis
say,
is a great one. Giannis
you
is
know,
a great one.
yeah. I think they're out there. I mean, I just think it's
See, but that's the thing though. Like watching, like Steph is very entertaining to watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not a competitive guy, but like off the top of my head, like the game against the Thunder, the regular season game where he had like 12 threes, 13 threes, like that would be one of them. But like off the top of my head, there's not like a signature game where I was like a signature game that mattered at least where I was like, oh, Steph just absolutely refused to like he was gonna die on the court before he lost this
Semifinals in
basketball
the
game.
Olympics.
I would push back only in I feel
I
like
mean, yeah,
you never
okay.
watch a Golden State game that matters, and if he's playing and he's healthy, that dude isn't balls to the wall when he's on the court the whole time. And again, I think that's more than you could say for 90% of the NBA anymore.
Nobody knows you, Eric. It's going to be a lottery at the end of the year.
But to even get back to Peterson, I think part of it too, when we look at him and you can see that like, he looks disinterested. I think part of it for him too, I think part of it for him is he's probably frustrated too. We don't know that. Like as I'm saying, like none of us know him on that level, like to where maybe he does want to be on the court, and then it's like I play hard and we get in a close game, and then like my body just starts to fail. Like that could be part of it too. And I'm not saying that is the truth, but again, like we're not close enough to it to where we know if that's true or not, or if that even factors into it. It's just there's so much going on, but again, with all those unknowns, I don't know if you could sit there and just be like, yeah, I'm definitely taking him number one, like because he could quit basketball in 2 years. Like I don't know.
Number one, maybe not. Like I think you can live with yourself if you get the number 1 overall pick and not take him. You can get the number 2 overall pick and not take him. I think if you're at number 3 or anywhere below and you don't take him, I think it's going to be one of those things where you're going to look back at the draft class and you're going to think, how the hell didn't we take that kid?
Yeah, that's the ultimate. Yeah, like you either you do what you think is right or take the gamble, and then you obviously have to live with the outcome either way. So it makes it tough. That's why GMs get paid a lot of money.
Last small topic, and I don't anything else you guys want to bring up college basketball because we're about to get in conference tournament play. So like that's going to be a lot of the show next week. But is there anything else you guys want to talk about college basketball? Because I do have one quick topic that I just thought was very interesting.
I think we have one full week left before I don't think next week won't be.
Yeah, but the following week. So we're going to start the conference tournament.
Most of them don't start really till like Wednesday or Tuesday. So
No,
I'll have to look at it. I'm just saying I don't think we have to do it next week, but maybe we do.
The only other thing that I would bring up here real quick is the Duke-Michigan game happened over this past week, and I would say that that game truly felt like a national championship preview, not just because of everything that went into it, but how the game looked as a whole. Like Michigan's ability to hold Cam Boozer to a pedestrian game to his standards of what he's been doing throughout the regular season, but Duke still having enough to go out and win the basketball game. For me, I had a lot of question marks about Duke and what they would look like against a team that had the experience, had the height, had the athletes all around. And they answered a lot of it for me. But with that said, on the flip side, like Michigan is still 100% one of those teams where I'm like, all right, I'm almost penciling in both of them in my Final Four already.
I hope they're on the same side of the bracket. Sorry, I wanted to answer this question real quick. Chomping at the bit said, what's his optimistic ceiling? And I mean, I want to answer that, but I didn't give any thought to it. And the first player that comes to mind when I watch him play is like a better version of what Brandon Ingram is. And I feel like that's disrespectful to say of a future number 1 pick. But like, that's what he looks like to me.
Ingram went 2 his year. So, I mean, it's.
But like, that's like when I see him, I look at like, I see that type of game. Am I tripping saying that or?
I mean, no, I just think I think he's more shifty off the bounce, and I think he's more guard like. Like I think
Yeah. I think he's a little more polished now than Ingram was at this point, too.
he's not as explosive, but like off the dribble reminds me a lot of Ant. Like he's not going to finish the same at the he's not going to finish the same at the rim, but out on the perimeter, like I see a lot of like I can see Ant being his ceiling there. Do I think he's going to be that good? I don't know, but I think that could be potentially what you're missing out on.
Sure. Do have a quick statement that I wanted to bring up that's not NCAA related. Did you guys see the story with the Suns owner, Matasheba?
No.
You know what?
It's amazing. He's going to offer $1 million to the winner of the 3-point contest and dunk contest if they can get good players in it. Out of his own personal pocket.
I mean, I don't think the 3-point contest needs help.
No, I agree. But I think that if he's doing it like to incentivize more players to get in, and I think that's a
I
great.
get it. Does Phoenix have the All-Star game next year?
They might. Let's see. Let's get the best guys in. He's selling the Pat McAfee show. All-Star week. Yeah, when Phoenix hosts the midseason. Yeah, Phoenix has it next year.
It would make sense then. But I mean, listen, I applaud the effort. I think his head's in the right place, but
for $1 million, I'm sure you can get more people in dunk contest.
Maybe. I mean, $1 million ain't gonna make LeBron do it. Like $1 million.
What about LeBron, bro?
I'm saying any of those big guys that are making $40 million a year that don't want to do it now, $1 million isn't going to make them get in it. That's all I'm saying. A lot of the names that we rip off that we've said in the last 2 weeks that we want to see, they're all making $40 million a year. That $1 million is not going to make them get in a dunk contest.
Okay.
But
any other comments, Control?
You guys made me believe that $500,000 was worth fighting for when talking about the play-in tournament and having guys play hard for that.
I mean, yeah, the 8th guy on the bench or the 5th guy in the lineup, $500,000 is 100% worth fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I 100% agree with that, but the 8th, 9th guy on the bench isn't in crunch time when games are on the line.
Maybe he is if it's for that money.
I guess.
This kid Connor Griffin's gonna be so freaking good. Shally, how good's Connor Griffin, bro?
He's really good.
He's really good. Thank you. In-depth analysis.
I mean, he has everything. Probably playing for the wrong franchise, but I don't know if you saw what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you have 2 yesterday?
Yeah. Just absolute just nukes. Both left the stadium. Listen, I mean, he's one of those 5-tool guys that's all there. I mean, I'm not going to do it based off everything he does off spring training because he's not facing the best pitching ever right now. But
get it off a Ranger, bro.
He did. Ranger gives up gopher balls though. But that being said, I'd be really shocked if he doesn't turn out to be what we all think he's going to be.
Agreed.
I've seen a lot of talks about how this class, like, because he was a part of the 2024 class, like a lot of people talking about 2024 class is going to be one of those ones, like if you're in the top 10, like the class to remember, essentially. I guess a lot of them have been dominating spring training so far. So curious to see how it all shakes out. I hope he's good. I hope he's not better than Travis because we took Travis number 1 overall that year, and I think Pittsburgh took him like 10th or 11th. But I think he's definitely shown crazy things so far this spring training because he's hit what it feels like he's hit a home run every game so far in spring training. Because like every time I go on Twitter, Bleacher Reports post another home run that he hit.
I'm gonna make a statement to you that's gonna make you like open your eyes for a second. I know you will. So, did you watch Nolan McLean pitch last year for the Mets?
Yes.
Almost unhittable. I think he won his first 6 starts. He looked incredible, right? Great stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Nolan McLean currently is the 6th best prospect in baseball. The other 5 guys haven't played in the majors yet. And Nolan McLean is dominating the majors. Connor Griffin's 1. Kevin McGonigal, who's another guy you really have to look out for. Shortstop for the Tigers is going to be really good.
Man, smooth.
Leo DeRise is on the A's, and add him with Nick Kurtz and like that team, man. And then Jesus Made from the Brewers, who's so young, and he's a year or 2 away. But those 4 guys are going to be the absolute future of baseball. They are absolutely unbelievable.
And in 3 or 4 years, 2 of them won't be with the teams they're with right now.
No, you're absolutely right. But yeah, there's a lot of really good players at the top of that prospects list. Travis Bazzana is very good, Cottrell, but being a second baseman in 23, it's a little different. These kids
for
are
sure.
18.
And I don't know. I'm not even saying that Travis just needs to be up there with them. I'm just saying selfishly, the 1 year the Guardians get the #1 overall pick, I hope no one crazy, outshines him, because granted, I get it. There's definitely going to be players that are probably better than Travis, but yeah, I'm just hoping it's not like, damn, we could have had him all along. And baseball is obviously one of those weird, I shouldn't say weird, but it's just different because, going #1 overall doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a star.
No, absolutely not. You're absolutely right. I think that's awesome. I wish that more teams would do that. The Yankees do it with the Yes Network, but I think that's awesome.
Keeps a lot of money in house.
Guys, let's get into You Gotta Be Kidding Me. Sally, please tell me you have one.
Nah. Doing last week, I'm done. Home break.
All right, so I'll do double trouble here this week for Bill because I'll go with two people, but they're involved in the same event. This has been my You Gotta Be Kidding Me for I feel like maybe this will be the 8th or 9th time doing it.
Yeah, I know this.
Know where you're going.
Nope.
Georgia linebackers Chris Cole and Darren Ikinabon arrested for reckless driving and speeding. This is the 32nd incident since 2023 that Georgia players have had to answer to law enforcement after doing something illegal. Now, it feels like one of those times where I could say, NCAA, you need to hold these guys accountable. I could say Kirby Smart, you need to hold these guys accountable. I could say the athletic director needs to hold Kirby Smart accountable. But we're just beating the same dead horse, it feels like, every offseason when it comes to college football here. So I'm not even going to go there at this point. You guys already know all of our feelings about it. Absolutely, everybody, involved need to be held accountable. Because again, at some point, the elephant in the room is that they've already had a player die because of some reckless driving. And until it happens again, it feels like no one's going to really care about it. So this week, yet again, Georgia Bulldogs being in the news for reckless driving and speeding.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I think the crazy part about that is somebody died like the first time. So like that was the baseline for it. To be like, and so like, okay, like there's gotta be like, this happened like the night of the national championship game. People lost their life. Like that's got to be the baseline, and they'll be like, all right, we're 0 tolerance, and it's gotten worse since then. Like
to that point, it almost feels like every time that no one dies, they're like, oh, this is a win.
Yeah,
like it's just wild.
I have a video for mine. I'm sorry, I should have had it ready.
Bill, you really don't got one? You're done for the month?
Of course he doesn't.
Takes a lot to piss me off these days. Probably a lot of becoming a Buddha.
All right. I got to share my screen. This is too good. I'm shocked Bill didn't use this.
Uh-oh.
You guys see my screen?
Yep.
I'm saving these for the season.
Watch. This is incredible.
Gets the called strike on the inside, and Contreras. We will get a
Call the field is a strike. The batter is challenging.
We get the look. And that's a ball.
Juarez.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud.
Call the field is a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Was the call. And it is another successful challenge. 2-1 pitch here from Harrington. And it is strike, so a successful overturn. Contreras here with 2 on and 2 out. Takes called strike. They make the challenge. They show
Call's overturned. Boston retains their challenge.
the ball is another veteran move. Oh, yeah, by T-Mobile. Strike. So
That last one was
there it's Kansas.
The call is confirmed. Pittsburgh has 1 challenge remaining.
So what you just watched was in the same game. It's in the same inning. 5 consecutive challenges. Yeah, I mean, not the same, like not every pitch, but 5 challenges in 1 inning. Number 1, the umpire has to be better. Number 2, I don't even know if I want ABS at this point because that is going to make games brutal to watch if that's what's going to happen. So for the umpire, for MLB,
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I think ejections are going to go through the freaking roof this year. Because there's going to be a bunch of players making smart-ass remarks when these guys keep missing calls. And umpires are going to be pissed because they're just going to get embarrassed over and over and over. And
officially.
they're just chucking people.
What's the rule with this? Like, obviously, I know the challenge system is coming this year. Is this you get to keep doing it until you miss?
You get two misses.
Correct.
So if you get 8 right, you still got your 2.
Yep. Keep patting the head, baby.
Oh, sheesh. These
Control's natural reaction.
Umpires, I'm telling you, man, that's gonna be.
This is gonna literally undo everything baseball had success with the pitch clock. I mean, games are gonna be just as long as they were 3 years ago.
I mean, it takes like 5 seconds, but
yeah, but if it happens 35 times a game,
well, like I said, umpires are gonna start getting picked off quick.
Oh man, I'm done. I'm in tears.
It's gonna be hilarious,
guys. That's all I got. Does anybody else have any final thoughts?
I guess I got one thing. I have a lot of content posted this upcoming weekend. Tomorrow morning, headed up to Indianapolis for the combine. So we'll be getting tons of videos and stuff posted. And then on Saturday, they're actually having an Elite 11 event that I will also be going to. Some of the best quarterbacks in the Midwest, and getting some more content there. So I guess be on the lookout for that because I'm sure gonna get a lot of good stuff.
Love that.
I got one. My little dude, my best friend, my nephew's birthday. He's 5 tomorrow. He's been watching us since he was like 6 months old. So my little guy turns 5 and wish him a happy birthday. Getting big fast, man. Can't believe he's 5 years old already, but Just want to wish him a happy birthday because he'll probably watch us tomorrow.
Great kids having birthdays on the same day. Tomorrow is Lawrence Mason's birthday. I will get to see him tomorrow for his jiu-jitsu class that he's running. He's leading the jiu-jitsu class tomorrow on his 11th birthday. So I am super thrilled, super happy to be able to watch him, and want to wish him a happy birthday also. Great kids on the same birthdays. I like it. That's all we got today. That's all we got. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. Appreciate all you guys in the chat, right? John Suggs, 3&D, Mike, listen, I don't care if you argue with me. You can argue with me all day. I love it. Reed Dion, hope you're still listening. I appreciate you. Guys, argue with me in the chat. I love it. I live off this. This is absolutely, it's fun. It's debating. It's being able to have that conversation with people and be an open mind to listen to another opinion. Respect your opinions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Control will see you this weekend. Let's have a great day. Let's have a great rest of your Wednesday. Let's have a great rest of your week. And I'm the NFL Genius Gene Walls. Like, that's Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Control, Uncle Shally, Scholastic Shot, Mr. William Shallcross, and we are signing out.